First News with Keeler in the morning on WIBX and WIBX950.com.
Seems like all we talk about these days when it comes to President Biden is either this the trip, of course, where he's overseas, and infrastructure. Will infrastructure happen? Rachel Sutherland standing by on the line right now. Rachel, good morning.
Hey, good morning. Well, yeah, the president's out of the country, so it's tough to do a whole lot of negotiating on infrastructure. But we know that a bipartisan group of senators has come up with a new plan that focuses on core infrastructure. The question is, will it gain broader support? Speaker Pelosi, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, has said that she wants to see, if more is to come out of this proposal. So, but at the same time, you probably haven't heard much from Senator Bernie Sanders lately. He's been reportedly working on using budget reconciliation, using that kind of legislation, working on it, because he doesn't believe that these talks are going to go anywhere.
Yeah. As it turns out, it's not it is a Republican resistance. It'll be resistance in his own party that ends up being the problem.
Right, especially among progressives who are upset that this latest proposal and the one before it from Republicans don't have any of the kind of human infrastructure or climate initiatives the president has been pushing. So there's one tactic on the Hill that we're hearing about is they would look to pass a bipartisan bill on core infrastructure and then follow up with the rest of what the president wanted through the budget reconciliation process, which would not require any Republican support.
All right, interesting. Thank you so much, Rachel. Have a wonderful day. Rachel Sutherland from Fox News. How about this ambulance that went in the...
Oh, my goodness.
Where did it end up? In Rochester, right?
Irondequoit Bay.
Wow.
That's unreal.
All right, so what do we know? I don't think the name is out as of yet.
I haven't seen the name. I do not believe that's being reported. But
it's a woman from Utica who stole a Kunkel ambulance, got into a high-speed chase on the thruway, and ended up in Irondequoit.
Officials from Kunkel said that the alleged theft, I should say, took place when the ambulance was parked at a hospital in between patients. It was being cleaned and disinfected. The woman stole the ambulance. They do not know the reason why yet, and led them on a chase all the way there. So what had happened was,
and then it ended.
It ended with
her going
crashing
into
somebody
the water.
told me, Michael Scott style from The Office, into the bay, and she swam to a boat that was already in the water there. The boat came into shore, and she was arrested shortly after that.
And she immediately was awarded $1 million for winning Amazing Race. It's incredible.
I made it.
Angela, are you in there? I can't see you. Is that lighting out that badly in there?
Did
Did
you turn it up like I told you to?
He's
Yeah.
sitting in the dark.
Come on, man.
He likes that.
There's no mood sitting around
Yeah,
here.
I said turn it up.
I've been watching a program on
You're glowing.
HBO.
No, get those lights off! Get those lights off!
HBO Max that looks just the actress. It might as well be your sister. It's unbelievable.
And who is this?
I don't know. It's called Hack.
Are you talking about? Oh, yes, that's it's Lorraine Newman's daughter, Hannah. Hannah
She
something.
looks her facial expressions, her everything is you.
Okay.
It's you watch it, and even
I've seen
you will see it.
Yeah, Gene Smars, and it's great.
Yeah.
I really like it.
It's you.
Okay.
But she's a struggling comic writer, etc., etc.
Oh,
It's you.
Yeah, and ends up thinking that she's going to be getting a great job. She tweets something out that's kind of a little inappropriate. All of a sudden, nobody wants to hire her, so she gets hired by this quote unquote hack, a female comedian that is at the end of her career. And she has a residency performing in Vegas. And this young, struggling comic has been hired to write jokes for the seasoned, at the end of her career, superstar. And she has red hair. If you look up the actress, it's not that she looks like Angelo. It's that her mannerisms are As a matter of fact, I had said it to my wife the last time we watched, and we were watching last night, and she said, "Oh my God, you're right. It's Angelo." So
her name, the actress's name is Hannah Einbinder.
Whatever it is,
Can I
call her Hannah, who looks like Angelo.
Hannah Mindbender, is that what I'm putting in?
Ein,
Yeah.
E-I-N, Binder.
And again, when you look at it, it's not going to look like him.
You have to look at it in the show.
You'd have to watch her mannerisms. Yeah.
Does she go around impersonating everybody?
I think she's has nothing. Her personality is nothing like Angelo's. She's kind of negative and nasty.
Okay.
Oh, maybe it is Angelo.
Depending on the day.
Moly. Wow. Okay, check it out. It's called Hack, right? Andrew or Angelo, you actually know more about it than I do.
It's on HBO Max. It's an HBO original
very
series.
Funny.
Hacks. Yeah.
Hacks. H-A-C, as in she's an old hack.
Yes.
In the comedy world. Today is Flag Day.
Wonderful.
It is not a day where schools are off or banks are closed or any of that stuff. But today is Flag Day, a day where you're reminded to show with pride, fly with pride, your flag. Not the pride flag, the American flag in this case. It's American Flag Day. I'm trying to find some audio here, and I know I'm going to have it, but did you see that Ned Beatty died?
Is that Warren Beatty?
The actor. And I'm seeing if I have it here. Is it here? I guess it's not. I can't believe it. Look him up. He was the actor who was famous in the squeal pig scene in Deliverance, if you remember, among other roles.
My goodness.
But he is passed. Apparently not worthy of my feed here this morning. We mentioned the high-speed chase. At some point, I imagine we're going to find out who stole what is the name of the woman who allegedly stole that vehicle, right?
And
as of right now, we do not know, right? What was the reason?
I assume it's a mental health issue, but I don't know
Could
that.
be. We don't know.
It could also have been, I guess we don't know. It could have been a prank. Could have been a getaway vehicle. But my first thought was some type of a mental health issue.
That two things that came out of the session. We'll talk
or a drug issue.
We'll talk to Senator Joe Griffo this week. We're going to speak with him about the things that didn't come out of this latest session. And one of them was the park being named after President Donald Trump. I guess I'm not surprised in New York that didn't come to fruition, but it was close. It just didn't happen. And then this legislation that our Assemblywoman Buttonshaw put forth on the Bianca Devins, that was legislation that would have. It's kind of difficult because it says if there's something that is done illegal on the web, the person would be prosecuted. I just didn't think it was going to go anywhere because it kind of struggles in that free speech territory where as awful as this all goes back to the fact that there were pictures being spread online.
Right.
And the problem is that the way that I saw this legislation being written is you have to be very careful because of free speech.
Right.
And it had said that the person would be penalized, and maybe it steepened the penalty. I don't know. If something was done, illegal use of information or photos or that sort of thing. But if it's illegal use, it would already be illegal.
Yes. It would. So the law would have established the new crime of what would have been called unlawful dissemination of a personal image in the first, second, and third degree, and create a right of private action against such offenses. So it would allow for criminal charges and then the right for somebody to sue for.
But
for
it would have to be. It would have to be an unlawful posting of the photo.
Which means
what
does that mean?
Well, it means it's already unlawful. That there's already a law in place. That's the problem with it.
Right. The language there makes me think it was a way to, for instance, unlawful posting of a photo or an unlawful posting of someone's actions. I guess I'm confused on that because it made me think like if you can't share an image of somebody involved in a crime,
so you couldn't share something unlawful. That just wouldn't.
But this says personal image. But here's the problem: is that Brandon Clark originally took those photos and he willingly distributed them to the internet. So if he were to have said, "This is a private image of mine, and I don't want it out there," and somebody acquired it and distributed it, I think that law would have been applied here. But the problem is he wanted it out there.
But now you're going into the world of once something is on public in the public forum. Who were they targeting? Were they targeting him, the murderer here, or are they targeting all the other people who had awful things, terrible things were posted and said
and sent to Bianca's family?
Yeah,
unfortunately,
it was awful. Disgusting. The problem is, I don't know that in a free country, I don't know how far we're able to go to prevent people from being just horrible people.
Right?
How do you prevent people from being horrible people?
And we can't even, I mean, and again, they've tried, and I'm not disrespecting law enforcement of this, but you can't even get people who are doing scams to elderly people over the internet, or phone, robocall scams or anything like that. So I don't know how they would even enforce this particular law.
Yeah. I don't know either, but the Senate decided to not go forward on this. We'll see what happens. Griffo was involved, Senator Griffo and Buttonshaw. But again, I don't know how far you can go with something like this. This is one we can talk to, get an attorney on to talk about down the road here. COVID-19 numbers have dropped, but did you see there were two deaths in Herkimer County recently? So that's the one thing that I think we've seen overall is that not only have the number of cases dropped, but so have the number of deaths, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But there were two. It shows that it's still not gone. It still does exist, and people are still dying. In New York City, the New York Presbyterian Hospital is the first New York hospital system to require COVID-19 vaccine for workers. 72% of hospital workers overall statewide are fully vaccinated as of Wednesday, according to state data. But the New York Presbyterian Hospital system on Friday became the first in the state to require its employees to receive the COVID-19 vaccine. What do you think? It says here, we care for sick people, some critically so, every day, and we're responsible for their safety while in our care.
I think that I had heard at the top of the hour,
it's
Fox
48,000 workers, by the way.
That a hospital in Houston had also tried to do this, but then was sued for some reason, or a few of the people had quit. I'm not exactly sure all the details, but if you work at St. Luke's or St. Elizabeth Hospital, and you're a nurse or a medical worker of any
I don't
kind,
think they're required.
You have to do a flu shot,
or you have to wear a mask. This is why I'm saying you can fight this, but this has already been established. It's done with measles and mumps and with polio. It's done with, you can fight it, but I don't think you're going to get anywhere. And it's really already, this argument's already been had with other vaccines.
Yeah, I just
they require a flu vaccine. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so if you are a nurse or a medical worker at the hospital, if you don't have a flu shot, this is pre-pandemic, of course. But you would have had to have worn a mask at all times.
Okay.
If you weren't, and that's why if you saw Dr. Hall when he was in here this morning on his name badge, it said flu 2020. And also, I think he had a sticker for COVID. But they would always have a sticker to see if you're vaccinated.
So they were making people wear masks, but they can't do that in a free country.
It's against the Constitution, right?
It's against the Constitution, yeah.
And the problem is, if in New York, if you don't like it, don't work here. And they can get rid of you for any reason, for the most part. Unless you're working under some contract, that might be an issue that the Houston hospital had a problem with. Maybe a nurses union or doctors union, who knows what.
So and I don't want to go backwards, but I'm reading more on that bill on our website on the Bianca Devins bill.
Okay.
And one other clarification I think that's in here. This is a quote from Assemblywoman Buttonshaw. Bianca Devins lost her life in a horrific act of violence that shocked our Mohawk Valley communities. Her family and all families deserve the ability to grieve in peace, an ability that has been severely impacted by social media users exploiting her death for follows and likes. I think we all probably agree with that. I know I do. And then, but here's the part where it gets tricky again. My bill will help ensure individuals who share and promote images meant to humiliate, harass, or degrade are held accountable for this heinous and criminal behavior. Now, in the case of a death, that makes sense. But, like, what if you put up a picture that says, and it's made to degrade and humiliate? Who's the actress on the TV show? Not the actress, the singer on the TV show, who when she was 20 was incredibly fit, and now she's like 100 pounds heavier. The blonde country singer, she might have did one of the talent shows.
You're talking about Kelly Clarkson.
Kelly Clarkson, sure, right? But you could make an argument that's an attempt to degrade or humiliate. Look how fat she is.
Oh, people say that,
right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, you're walking up the free speech ladder, and it's a very difficult one to. I just don't think that even if that were to have passed, it would have been able to. I mean, I guess to be able to make it, if you commit a horrible crime and then you post photos of the crime you just committed, I guess that would make that a crime as well that could be added on to the. But you're already being charged with murder,
right? And the other thing is, like, I feel like the cops feel like, yeah, sure, dummy, you want to rob a bank and flaunt your money on social media?
Right.
Yeah, we love it. We call that evidence.
That's the other part of this is it's so rare that this is such a unique case. Mm-hmm. Listen, I completely support the family here and feel terrible about that is just one of the worst crimes we've ever seen. I think that you've ever seen in general, let alone a crime that you've seen around here. But I feel like not every problem can be solved with legislation.
I agree with you, and I don't understand how I don't know what the penalty would have been in this particular case for establishing this law, but aren't there, people get arrested for harassment for simpler things than flashing a picture to a parent of a child's dead body and then saying horrible things about it.
Yeah.
Lesser
Isn't that
offenses.
Already harassment, though?
You would think so. That's what I mean.
And I think that if you have some guy that's stalking a woman and he's posting photos of her, isn't that harassment in itself already? Can't you come up with a harassment charge there? So that's why I'm thinking there's probably already a law on the book. You don't need it specific to this rare case,
right?
Where hopefully this is true, but I can't imagine that this is something that we're going to see become a trend in the world.
God, I hope
this was such a unique, horrible crime. I don't know that we're going to be seeing it ever again.
What's the easiest choice you can make? Window instead of middle seat? Picking a vendor who sends a great gift basket? Outsourcing business tasks you hate? What about selling with Shopify? Whether you're selling a little or a lot, Shopify helps you do your thing, however you cha-ching. Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. From the launch your online shop stage to the first real-life store stage, all the way to the did we just hit 1 million orders stage? Shopify's there to help you grow. Whether you're selling scented soap or offering outdoor outfits, Shopify helps you sell. Wherever and whatever you're selling, Shopify's got you covered. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/try. Go to shopify.com/try now to grow your business, no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/try.